Arab foreign ministers are to meet in London on Tuesday amid growing international calls for the opening of Yemen's ports to new aid shipments to prevent a humanitarian disaster. The Saudiled coalition fighting in Yemen has eased restrictions at the main airport and two key ports following a 3-week blockade after Iranian-backed Houthi rebels fired a missile at the Saudi capital Riyadh. The United Nations and Britain on Tuesday have called for further ports to be opened up to alleviate what the UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson described as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. People who are suffering most from this conflict are the people of Yemen, said Mr. Johnson. 3 humanitarian flights landed and took off from the capital of Sana'a on Saturday, while a commercial cargo ship and a U.N. chartered vessel docked at 2 ports on Monday. I welcome the steps taken towards reopening the ports of Hodeida and Salif and the resumption of UN flights to Sana'a Airport, said Mr. Johnson. The UK will continue to press for humanitarian and commercial access to be restored to all ports, so that the already dire humanitarian situation does not deteriorate further. Read more aid supplies arrive at Hodeida port in Yemen. Boris Johnson speaks to Saudi Crown Prince about Yemen rapidly dwindling fuel stocks and the dire rapidly dwindling fuel stocks are pushing at least 7 million people towards famine, according to the United Nations. The Saudiled coalition went to war against the rebels, known as Houthis, in March 2015 on behalf of Yemen's internationally recognized government. But the coalition has made little progress, and the rebels still control much of northern Yemen, including Sana'a. Saudi Arabia said on Monday that the coalition would lift the blockade that was imposed to prevent the Houthi rebels from receiving supplies. Foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates and Oman will attend the meeting along with U.S. officials. Over the past 2 years, the war in Yemen has killed more than 10,000 people.